Hello, I'm Sophia Lou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys and welcome to this month's fan art suggested by you guys on Twitter. I did a quick poll the other day because I couldn't quite decide between two concepts, and the one that won was Warrior Sailor Moon. So I decided to do this almost like knight in shining armor version of Sailor Moon, where she's almost like she's like a big fierce warrior woman. Sorry, apologies for the camera focusing in and out in this section. For some reason, I just couldn't get it to focus. Later on in the video, it is fixed, so I do apologise about that. All I'm doing here is I'm just sketching out my rough idea. I know I wanted her to have like this sort of armour on her, which almost represents her sailor outfit without it being a sailor outfit, and this big giant billowy cape with a sword and a shield. The whole concept behind this piece isn't really anything fancy. It's just I really wanted to draw a really fair Sailor Moon. Because people are going to be asking, the equipment I've used in this is my usual Deal Around B mixed media pad, my Unipin fine liners, my Letraset Pro markers, my WH Smith colouring pencils, and my Unipin ball white Signo pen. This is just my standard equipment I'm always using. The other one that was in the poll was a Art Nouveau style bell, which is in my sketchbook, which I would like to revisit and basically redo. So I think I might do that next month. I'm not entirely sure. It depends what kind of takes my fancy in this sort of aspect to what I would prefer to do. As with the armor, I kind of like mashed up a lot of different references. I couldn't decide how I wanted the breastplate. I knew I didn't want it to have defined breasts because that's not how breastplates work. I knew it would have to be a smooth concaved sort of area, because I can imagine if you were a warrior, you'd have to sort of bind your chest anyway before it goes under the chainmail, just so then it wouldn't hurt you. So there's a lot of things I think about when I'm drawing, and that's one of them, that whether or not the person would be comfortable wearing this, or whether or not it's practical in any way, shape or form. I mean, it's not the best armour, but I like the way it turned out. I wanted to use a lot of moon motifs and keep the sort of same Sailor Moon style hair, but completely redo her outfit, and that's the kind of thing I wanted to go for. And I suppose the longest part in this filming was the line work, because line work takes me forever with anything, because I'm never happy with anything I do. But yeah, like, Sailor Moon played such a huge part in my childhood. When I was much younger, it was on a channel called CITV, which was when the channel BBC Free, no, ITV Free, was like had the child section on it, and every now and again they played Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura. So I didn't watch as much Sailor Moon when I was younger, but when I had access to the internet when I was about 14-15, I watched the entire series and became obsessed with the Sailor Scouts, because the other shows I was watching at the time were Cardcaptor Sakura and Tokyo Mew Mew, because that's what we had access to at the time. And Sailor Moon really inspired me, and I loved everything about it. The long limbs, the fact that they were all female, fierce girls who just were, it was just such a beautiful story, and everything just made me feel so emotional. And I have been re-watching it / watching the Crystal Sailor Moon series. I'm not that far into Crystal Sailor Moon, so please no spoilers. I have been reading the books, so I pretty much know what's going to happen anyway, but I'm really enjoying the animation. I've heard that season 3 the animation really picks up, so I'm really excited to see that. But no, it's kind of weird that all these cartoons that I watched, well, I say cartoons, anime I watched when I was a kid, are being redone. Like, we've got Sailor Moon, which has been redone, and they're bringing out a Cardcaptor Sakura mini series, which, holy moly, like, if the childhood in me is just like screaming right now, just like, oh my goodness. But no, like, the reason I think Sailor Moon really shouted to me was because of the art style. And I really liked how all the characters were elongated, and I think my favourite was Sailor Mercury, because I identified the most with Sailor Mercury, because she was a bit of a geeky girl, really cared about her homework and her aspects in her future, and she really spoke to me. I liked Usagi. I didn't like Chibi Sailor Moon, but that's because she got on my nerves. But no, there's so much of the series that I remember. It's been a while since I've watched it, but there's so much I remember. And like Queen Beryl was like my go-to villain, because I just love the way she was. I love any villain that uses like a really dark colour palette. That's why one of my favourite villains is Ursula from Little Mermaid. That, and she has a killer song. But no, the whole idea with this piece was to just try and keep it simple, to make it more about the character than it was about the background. So this is why at the end of the piece it literally is just Sailor Moon and a white background with very simple shading. And this was because I wanted the focus to be on Sailor Moon, and I kind of drew inspiration from Wonder Woman and like Xena, the warrior princess. That's the kind of, because I remember watching them when I was much younger and really being inspired by them when I was much younger. I'd say the main downfalls of this piece is it could have done with a really detailed background, but when I'd finished the piece I was happy with it at the time. So the reason why I have left it purposely blank is that if I wanted to go back to it, I possibly could, and I could redo it with a more complicated background, but I'd probably watercolor up the background and then pro marker the character in, so then it looks like an animation cell almost, which is one of the reasons why I've kept to very animated shaded with this, with very cell shading. If any of you guys done I've done loads of Sailor Moon fan art before. One of my most popular print series I did was the Sailor Scouts in kimonos, and because it was related to my evolutions in kimonos as well, which if you guys haven't seen, if you go to my Facebook page, which is linked down below, you can actually see very far back, but it's an very old piece that I did a few years ago, and I redid the evolutions one last year, and I would like to redo my Sailor Moon ones, but I'm thinking of doing it in a very completely different style, just to try and keep it fresh, so then it's something different. I kind of wanted to do a Sailor Moon series where they were all like biker girls, but I realised it's already been done before, so I haven't. So I might just do like warrior versions of them all, where they're all wearing like knight and shining armour stuff, and have Tuxedo Mask probably whimpering away, and Tuxedo Mask can be the whimpering one that needs saving all the time, because I prefer when series flips that on its head and has the female being the main saviour over the male. So with this, it's kind of like almost like layering almost. You can see I'm using the blue for the cape, and this is to signify Usagi's blue. In the Sailor Scouts outfit they have like this oh my god, you know what I mean by the sailor outfits. She has the blue section there, and that's what I wanted the cape to represent. The skirt actually represents the bow that's at the back of the outfit, and the loin, almost, it's not a loincloth, but the cloth that's towards the front represents her skirt. I tried to feminize the armour as well as not feminize it too much, because I knew if I over feminized the armour it wouldn't look right. And I just really wanted to draw some killer like armoured heels, because I can just imagine like her strutting in the field with this giant sun, this giant shield, with these massive heels on. Because I never understood that about the Sailor Scouts, why they were wearing heels when they were doing a lot of running, but that's just a design issue. So I hope you guys like my take on Sailor Moon. If you guys would like to see more like this, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys want to see any particular fan art from me, would you like me to do my my Disney Art Nouveau series? Oh, just because people will be asking, this piece is not for sale. There will be prints of it available after I've touched it up digitally, to fix certain flaws that I've done, like with my colouring where I've gone overzealous, or where the markers have bled out, and where I've wanted to clean it up just a little bit. There will be prints of this eventually available when I get to my friend's scanner. Before I do all my scanning at my friend's, just so people do know, there will be prints available, and I will be doing a store update video when I've updated my store with everything else that's been done, just so people are aware of that. So the whole idea with the shield is it's meant to be like different phases of the moon, but I'd realised that when I had done the piece, I'd done too many phases of the moon, because there's only 8, I believe, instead of 9, so I'd gone way overboard on that. But that was my fault. I was kind of rushing this to get it filmed, because I've been really busy this week, and I'm filming a lot this week to try and fill my schedule. Like, I really struggled to draw this week, but that's because I've been filling up my sketchbook and enjoying like just doodling instead of like having to do a massive piece. Which, speaking of, my sketchbook tour will be going up soon for my current sketchbook, so I hope you guys look forward to that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, my little commentary on it. If you like content like this, maybe subscribe to my channel, comment on what you'd like to see in some future videos, let me know what kind of fan art you guys would like to see from me, and as always, stay creative.